Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to March Madness Episode 1. This might be Season 1, depending on how this goes. So far, I'm considering not, doing this series next year because we haven't had the best success thus far, but now that we're off Instagram, I think we will. Um, so we have to change the format a bit because we missed a day yesterday because me and Chris were just both busy as hell. He was working, um, and I tried to get a new ID, and they were just like, "Yeah, but we're not gonna get into that story." So maybe that'll be a topic someday. Who knows? Um, but yeah, let me introduce my guest, and then we'll get into this, and I'll explain the format of this.
Chris.
And I'm Owen Finch because we're not in the wrestling rundown. So
But if you want to, it would be on a certain channel.
yes. So originally we were gonna do this on Instagram, so that way you guys can kind of interact with us and stuff. We tried that.
We don't want that, actually.
Huh?
We don't want you to talk to us.
Yeah. But we tried that and it didn't work because I don't know what the fuck was going on. Like it was just all types of messed up. It was pretty much go watch. I forget what episode it is, but the wrestling rundown episode where you can like barely hear me. It was that all over again, and I was just not having that again. So I'm not meant to go anywhere else except YouTube. I try to go expand my platforms to other things, and it just isn't having it. So
nope, it's not letting you.
Yeah. So yeah, that just sucks. But yeah, because originally it was just a disaster from the beginning. So, but since we didn't really do a video because we tried doing a video talking about it, what this series is going to be is just going to be, I think it's 22 days, which is going to be 22 episodes because we have to find a day where we have to do 2 of them now, so that way we can, stay caught up and stuff. Just us talking about any random topics. I picked 11. Chris picked 10. Some of them, we both just decided, yeah, we're going to do that. So, yeah, we have to come up with a new topic for one of them instead of open discussion now because we're not on Instagram anymore. So,
no open discussion. Might cut a day. Cut one off, actually.
Maybe we will. Or maybe we'll just, go on Google Hangout or something. Or maybe we'll try Instagram and, like, do it at school that day or something. Because it worked fine at school. So, I think like it works fine on Instagram when we're like together. So, versus apart. So,
yeah,
I think that day we'll go Instagram. But yeah, let's get to today's topic because we're behind because Instagram sucks. I might just delete my Instagram now, but then that means no more Mandy Rose pictures anymore. So
damn, you can't do that.
Yeah, so I gotta keep the Instagram going. So, because that's basically the only reason why I have it is for Mandy Rose, Selena Vega, and other people, Caleb Braxton, honestly, and Charlie Caruso. Like you name them, that's why I have them. So
yeah,
and I have it for like funny stuff too. I like to watch, Finn Balor on Instagram. You can't go wrong with that, but that's a different video. So, let's get to today's topic because we're going to talk about. We figured the first episode will be something that we know a lot about. We're going to talk about why we like pro wrestling. So we're going to talk about. We tried doing this. We kind of started it, how we got into it, which kind of sucks because I already know how we got into it now. So,
but I'll just because we're in a different platform.
Yeah. But so basically everything. Why we got it, I'll just ask him questions and we'll just keep going until we want to stop. Obviously, we'll try to keep this like at an hour and a half, an hour, 45 minutes, somewhere on that platform.
We don't want to go longer than like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Some videos will be about that amount of time. Some videos won't be. So
some might be a minute. Some might be 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That's why it's called March Madness.
Yes. So, I'll ask you again. We've both been watching wrestling. We've covered wrestling, on all types of platforms. How did you get into professional wrestling?
My brother showed it to me. It was Judgment Day in Your House, 1998. I don't know if it was in 1998, but it might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been. But my first actual wrestling memory that I have is from when Chris Jericho got gored through the original SmackDown set by Rhino.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool, like, that's probably like one of the best spears like of all time and stuff.
Yeah, because
too.
it took down a whole fucking set.
Yeah. For me, yeah. So I don't really know exactly like what point I was watching. I know kind of the point I was watching full time, but I remember watching like little snippets of it because my cousin watched it a lot, and I would go over his house a lot when my dad was working and stuff. The first like wrestling memory I have, like match I remember seeing was he had like a lot of the old wrestling DVDs, and he had WrestleMania 21. So he would watch snippets of that show. He would watch WrestleMania 21. The first match I remember seeing was the Money in the Bank ladder match, the first one ever. And like the first memory I have is because I think we skipped to this part. We didn't watch the full entrances, but we see Kane coming out and having like the ladders set on fire. And I didn't know anything about pyrotechnics back then, so I thought like Kane himself was like freaking setting ladders on fire out of nowhere. Like, he might have done that at one point actually. So, and then obviously other cool stuff I remember was Undertaker versus Randy Orton. We would watch a lot, and seeing Undertaker like levitate off the floor and stuff. So I like that, and obviously explains how I like love the Undertaker and stuff. So, and then we would watch WrestleMania 22 a lot. We would watch the World Tag Team title match with Kane and Big Show versus Carlito and Chris. I think we would just watch the whole show, but we would skip bits. Like we skipped. He always never wanted to watch the U.S. title match between Chris Benoit and JBL. He never wanted to watch the Playboy match because that match is crap anyways. But he liked watching the Triple Threat match. He liked watching the Money in the Bank match. Because if you skip a Money in the Bank match at a show, then you don't even deserve to watch that show. So, unless it's like a crappy Money in the Bank match, like the first woman's ever, but that's a different story. So, but the first time I started watching full time is he slept over one day, and it was like during the build up to WrestleMania 23 was a SmackDown, and it was doing the build-up between Undertaker and Batista, and it was when Undertaker was cutting that promo where like how he was gonna have Batista rest in peace, and he was like in the graveyard and stuff, which was cool. And then I just started watching SmackDown every week. It was typically SmackDown because I didn't really know about Raw yet because I never really watched commercials. I never did even as a kid. I don't really know people that like sit down and want to watch commercials. So,
I don't either.
But then I don't even know how I found out about Raw. I think they were advertising the draft or something. I don't exactly remember how I found out about Raw. I think I just started watching Raw one day. I think maybe I saw it. I might have like been flicking through the channels and saw it on one day. So, man, though, do I wish it was just one show instead of like all these other shows they have today. So, but yeah, I started watching full time around 2007. So, there's that. Now I get to ask you this question, because obviously, this definitely shows, that we've done this before. Because you asked me the question, did I watch Raw? So I already answered that question this time. So
yeah,
so we're not gonna lie about it. We tried doing this.
No, we didn't. We didn't do it on Instagram. It didn't happen.
Okay, you just want to forget about that because Instagram sucks. So
it does.
What was your first wrestling show that you went to?
4th of July, 2002. Well, it was actually, I actually have the card up right now. It's actually July 2nd when it was taped.
Yeah.
But that match, I was right. It did have Cena on it, but it was against Chris Jericho.
Yeah, because it wasn't his first match was in Chicago, so
it was like June 27th.
Yeah,
so that wasn't all that far off.
Yeah.
But
you said it's debuted though. It's so.
I still saw him in his infancy.
Yes, and you also got to see like I said, because we just did this, so I know all this stuff. You had to see Edge and Hogan win the WWE Tag Team titles. So
Yeah, and it was
yeah,
the second longest match on the card.
cool.
I'm just gonna go over this card. It's terrible.
I'll listen
Lance
to it.
Storm defeated Rikishi in 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay.
Batista and Reverend Devon defeated Randy Orton and the Big Valboski in 4.5 minutes.
Oh yeah. This was when Batista was just coming into the company. Yeah.
Yeah, he was Deacon Batista.
Remember that
There's a
storyline they tried?
Reverend Devon too.
Remember that storyline they tried to like they were gonna do like a storyline like he was like raped as a child or something too.
Thank God they dropped that.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho versus Cena was 5 minutes long. They had a bra and panties match between Stacy and Tori Wilson. They went 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
Hey, that's a Hall of Fame. She's going to the Hall of Fame for that. So.
And the Undertaker versus Kurt Angle ended in a draw.
That sounds good though.
Yeah, I mean, it was for the WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. So.
Oh, I think I know the match. That's when like Taker like tapped out and then Angle like.
Yeah,
showed...
he had him like the triangle choke.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like I remember bits and pieces of the show. I don't remember the Brian Penny's match at all. I don't remember seeing John Cena at all. I remember the tag title match. I don't remember the Lance Storm versus Rikishi or the tag match with Orton and Valboski versus Batista and Devon. I don't remember any of that, but I remember the finish of the Undisputed Championship match and the World Tag Team title match. That's all I remember.
Oh yeah, because it wasn't the WWE Tag Team titles yet, right? So.
Yeah, because I think this was. I don't think SmackDown had got their. Raw had got the tag titles. Had they? Or...
Well, I think they were double branded, and then they brought SmackDowns in because that's when we got like that tournament with the finals at the end with Kurt Angle teaming up with a mystery partner that we don't know. So
yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about. I'll talk about my first show. It was the night after SummerSlam 2007. I probably had like the second worst seats you could probably imagine because I was like up, like the second to last row. Couldn't see anything because obviously we got these tickets last minute because I wasn't a wrestling fan probably when these tickets were sold at the time. So, originally went on sale. So, let's see if I can remember the stuff on this show. This was Ken Booker's last match before he went to. Because then he got released because this was when right after that Chris Benoit tragedy. So they were like testing people left and right, and he got I almost said arrested, but suspended. And then he faced John Cena. This was when Randy Orton like punted John Cena's father in the head the first time. And I didn't know who John Cena's father was, and because you're so far away, I just thought Randy Orton like randomly like pulled a fan outside and just punted him in the head. So I was like, why the hell would he do that?
Little did you know, it's Cena's dad.
Yeah. Well, how could you know that if you're like an 11-year-old kid from like a billion miles away? So
I know you couldn't fucking see shit.
Yeah, and then I remember too. You think Randy Orton's gonna have this triumphant moment? It was the first time I ever like seen. Like, because Triple H had just come back from his injury, so it was the first time I had really seen him, like, live and stuff. Triple H just couldn't let Randy Orton, like, stand tall. He had to come out and, during the dark match, he came out and squashed him right afterwards. So, Triple H always is a vein in Randy Orton's career still. So,
he's squashing him even when there's no lights on because it's dark.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what... I was trying to find... I was like... I didn't understand like why that match wasn't there too. I was trying to ask my mom and she doesn't know anything about wrestling, so I'm like, where was the Triple H Randy Orton match? She's like, who's that? And I'm like, remember that guy that came out and did this? And she's like, that's not on TV for some reason. Why would it be like in the what did people not see it? So I didn't understand like they did matches like right after the show.
Yeah. Basically it's when the baby faces get to send the crowd home happy.
Yeah. I was pretty happy at the time, but probably I bet people weren't happy. They were probably saying, "Yeah, Triple H is still a vein, and Randy Orton exists." So
he still is.
Yeah. What else was on that card? I'm not going to pull it up. I wanted to see if that was the first time I saw Jeff Hardy because he just came back from his suspension against Mr. Kennedy, and it was a double countout. And then he like won the IC title the next week, I think. So, and then this was when they were doing that Vince McMahon illegitimate son storyline.
Oh God,
And,
what a great time to get into it.
Yeah, I think this was when Triple H came out and like had all like the people he supposedly had sex with, and it was a bunch of like old women and stuff like that. So, yeah, and I didn't really understand what the term illegitimate son meant too. So I'm like, it was over my head at the time. So, because I didn't know what illegitimate meant. So, and then what else was on that? I think that's the only things I really remember. I think like Snitsky like destroyed Paul London out of nowhere. Like we randomly remember that. So I think that was on like Sunday Night Heat because they were doing Sunday Night Heat was main event of today. So I wonder if you were gonna be watching if you'd be saying the same thing about Sunday Night Heat just saying about main event today. So yeah, that's my first live wrestling show I've ever gone to. And now I get to ask you this question. What was the first? Well, I guess you already answered that question. I was gonna say, what's the first pay-per-view you watched? But it was In Your House Judgment Day, 1998. So, I guess I gotta answer my own question now. The first show that I watched was the Great American Well, technically it was WrestleMania 25, but the first show I pay-per-view I actually watched like live and stuff, was the Great American Bash 2007. Which if you look back at that card today, it's not the most stellar card, but. Like James always asks me, how did you continue watching wrestling with that crappy card? When you're first getting into the fucking business, you don't really know like what a good card or a bad card is. So
I know we've seen so many of them since then.
Yeah, I bet I remember on that show, Matt Hardy and MVP was starting their feud for the U.S. title. That was like the first match in their series, and then they did the whole who's better than who series where they would play like basketball with each other and stuff. I actually like that feud a lot. That's when Hornswoggle won the Cruiserweight Championship. Sandman lost to Carlito in a Singapore cane match where Sandman went to use the cane, Carlito ducked and just won. That was pretty stupid. John Cena wrestled awesome. Bobby Lashley on the show. That was the epic Great Khali Batista Kane triple threat match. And then what else was on that show? Was he Johnny Knight? No, he just turned into John Morrison.
Yeah, I was going to say, because what year was that?
2007, so.
Yeah, I think he might have been still Nitro, but he could have been transitioning. Yeah. He became John Morrison on, like, one of the episodes of ECW, like, one of his first ones.
Yeah, so it was like it was versus CM Punk, and it was like the first of like 3,000 times CM Punk would lose on pay-per-view, so I was thinking, what a loser he is, so. I think, and then it was Umaga versus Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental title. I remember they did that segment backstage too, and obviously I'm an 11-year-old kid, so we're like the Hardy Boys. Well, they weren't called the Hardy Boys then. I don't know why they just shortened the name to the Hardys at the time because there must have been like some type of copyright strike they were going through or something where they couldn't use like the whole full Hardy Boys name, and they did the whole bit where they were like. Crushing on Candice Michelle, and Candice Michelle would like pour the water over her head and stuff. So, obviously I didn't get like the exposure like woman wrestling how like they would show off, but that was like the most I got of that. So
yeah,
I'm an 11-year-old kid thinking like, why the hell are you pouring water all over yourself? So
now it's like, yeah, that was the dark times.
Yeah. I didn't really care for women's wrestling then too, because I'm kind of like, I didn't really know women wrestled. I just assumed it was all the men. So, when I saw women, and there wasn't really much there wasn't really much of women's wrestling then. So
it wasn't. Their specialty was the brown panties.
I actually, I know like Candice Michelle though. I give a lot of credit to because she actually tried to like improve as a wrestler. So
yeah, Victoria.
Yeah. So that was my first wrestling pay-per-view. I remember liking the John Cena Bobby Lashley match too. So I wonder if I would like that match if I went back and watched it today. So probably not because Bobby Lashley wasn't that. I remember he was like pretty bad then. So.
Oh yeah, he was awful. Back then I loved him. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
But now watching him now and then looking back on it then, I'm like, wow, he's actually improved like a million times more.
Not really, even on the mic, but not as much on the mic today.
Yeah.
And so.
Like in ring, he's much better now than he was then.
All right, so now I'm gonna put you on the spot here. 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. I had you do this list before. Yep, 5
favorite of all time. Ooh, that's tough because I have so many. Damn, I'm not gonna put any of like Hogan and Flair because they're not in my top 5. That's just too generic. Like everyone's just like Hogan and Flair, they're not in my top 5. John Cena.
I knew he was gonna be. Has he fallen the top 5 because of his?
He's the bottom of the top. He might not even be in the top 5 anymore, actually. But
if we had done this list like 2 years ago, he would have been there. Though
I would have been a card-carrying member of the fucking C Nation. Then.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be on that list, but all-time favorites, 5. He's 5. He's definitely 5. Yeah. He was 1. A couple of years ago.
You don't have to like go in. You don't have to go in order too. You can just list 5 you like too.
Well, he's 5.
Okay.
The Shield, that counts for 4 of them.
Sure.
And let's see.
Oh, it doesn't. It just doesn't have to be WWE also too. I hope.
I know. Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
Who is my number 1? Who is? AJ Styles.
Okay. I'll just name 5. I can't obviously.
Actually, not Cena, Daniel Bryan. So Cena's not in my top 5. Daniel Bryan.
So we did a list. We did this list for the 100th episode of the Wrestling Rundown. So I actually should pull that list up, but I want to see if I can go. So
mine probably have changed considerably since then.
Yeah. Number 5, I believe, was Mick Foley because probably one of the most likable guys in wrestling. He was part of a lot of my favorite matches and stuff, and I just love all of his gimmicks and stuff. Number 5 is I really can't say. It would have been Kurt Angle, but his recent ones kind of fallen back a little bit. So
yeah, he's old. He's a bit older now, and he's slowed down.
I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan, especially because this was before when we made the list the first time. This was before this recent one he had and stuff too. So yeah. And then I'll say number 3 is The Rock. Number 2 is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and number 1. I mean, I don't even need to say anything. Here he is right here. I mean, I think you knew that was coming. So,
yeah.
I feel like The Undertaker's my top favorite because my cousin one time found out I was a wrestling fan and he let me borrow The Undertaker's deadliest matches of all time. So when I first got into wrestling, The Undertaker was the person whose matches and stuff I watched the most, and the gimmick just intrigued me instantly. So. Yeah. I feel like without The Undertaker, I wouldn't have become as big of a wrestling fan as I was. So.
Oh yeah, definitely, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, except I still don't get the American Badass. You have to understand from my perspective, I was a freaking kid at 11 years old watching the deadliest matches, and all of a sudden he becomes the American Badass, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to you, buddy?
What happened to you, buddy?
Yeah, fucking all of a sudden one day you come out on a freaking motorcycle and yeah.
That low key is one of my favorite gimmicks of all time. I love that gimmick because that's when I grew up. I was growing up around that time period, and me being scared of Kane, I switched to SmackDown.
But I just hate that gimmick because it ruined what made The Undertaker special. I don't care if you could talk about how he was good on the mic and all of this, but his special gimmick was this gimmick. So
it was his gimmick his dead man gimmick is almost folklore at this point.
Yeah. So when he returned to the dead man back at WrestleMania 20, I'm like, why were you doing that all along? What did you die again or something?
And a little fun fact about that too is that he didn't want to go back to that gimmick.
Well,
Bruce Pritchard said that it took him a very long time to convince him to go back to the dead man gimmick. He wanted to stay the biker taker gimmick.
Thank God he was convinced. So
I think it took him. I think it said it took him 2 months.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have made any sense if he's doing all this dead man stuff and then he come out as American Badass.
He's
like
the American Badass.
You know what I think about that too? Like Judgment Day 2000 when he returns as that gimmick. He's fucking doing all this like dead man stuff. It was like when Brodus Clay was supposed to be like this big monster, and he came out as the fucking. That's exactly what it's like. Like
Brodus Clay.
Roll. Now I get to ask you this question: what's your favorite pay-per-view of all time? And this could be, this obviously goes to like, I'll count like the Ultima Luchas and stuff too, because I know they're not like a pay-per-view, but they're like a big event. So.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really watched like a whole lot of pay-per-views outside of WWE, so I'm just gonna go within my WWE knowledge. But oh man, I don't even know. I have so many. It's hard. It's hard to pick one.
Yeah.
It's got to be like WrestleMania for me. I don't know which one, but It's just like any WrestleMania for me, really, because
even WrestleMania 2.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love how bad it is.
Yeah,
it just it intrigues you because of how bad it is.
Yeah,
but just WrestleMania for me because in general, it's just for me because it's so special. It's like the biggest event of the year for wrestling fans, and for us, it's 2.5 weeks away, so I can't wait. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, because even like if the card's not all that intriguing too.
It's like
this year, I'm kind of like I'll say like so far, like I'm not looking forward to this year's as much as I was last year's, but I'm still pretty intrigued about it. There's enough there.
Like it's WrestleMania, like
yeah. So let's talk about. I'll say my favorite. It's got to be I know a lot of people say WrestleMania 17, and that really is a really good WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's an awesome Mania.
It's really ruined by obviously if the edit had not happened, I probably would have been my favorite WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't like the Austin turn too in that show.
Yeah, so that kills it. So, I gotta say WrestleMania 19. You go look at that WrestleMania. It has everything for like all types of wrestling fans. It has great in-win work like Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, and there's another match on that show.
Even the opener too with Matt Hardy against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
pretty good.
And then the freaking last like half of the show is awesome. Like you got Hogan versus McMahon in the street fight. You got Austin's last match on the show. Oh, I just freaking sat on my feet, and you know what happens? Like I feel the vibrations right now. By the way, that's not a match, but
Who are you Shinsuke?
And then the main event with Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. The match is really good. It's a shame it's remembered for the botch because that really is a really good WWE Championship match.
I mean, if you could see, like, had he not hesitated, he had the length and the distance.
Yeah.
That he hesitated.
Yeah.
Because he hit Kurt by the top of his chest.
Yeah.
So had he just not because you could tell when he's getting up there.
Yeah.
He kind of repositioned himself a little bit. Had he not done that, just went for it, I think he would have that probably would have been the finish.
Yeah.
That would have been incredible.
But what else was on that show that I really liked? There was something else. The only downside of that show was the Triple H Booker T match. But
in the fucking middle of cat fight.
Yeah. I actually forgot about that. I even like the women's triple threat that was on the show,
that was actually pretty decent. It's probably one of the better women's matches.
And the tag team match with Chris Benoit and Rhino versus Team Angle versus Los Guerreros. So
the Undertaker against A-Train and Big Show.
I don't like
with
that.
Nathan Jones. Oh my god, that was awful.
But I feel like I like 19 more. I feel like 19.
19's definitely the best WrestleMania of all time, honestly.
Yeah.
Just because people say 17, in my personal opinion, 19's better than 17, but they're 19's 1 for me and 17 is 2 for me.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that it's mainly known for that TLC.
Yeah.
If you take the TLC out of it, it's not really a noteworthy WrestleMania.
Yeah. And then now, obviously, when you say the best, you got to ask, worst pay-per-view you've ever watched. Could be anywhere.
Whew, I think you know which one now.
Is it Crown Jewel?
No, actually. Backlash? Or whatever the fuck had the Punjab prison match in it.
Oh, Battleground 2017.
That was the shittiest pay-per-view I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. I've
Yeah.
seen so many bad pay-per-views, but that was god-awful. I've never seen a show start off so hot and then fall off a fucking cliff as fast as that did.
Yeah.
Because the Usos and New Day kicked it off, and that was a really good match.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a genuine fall. It was like they were on the edge of the cliff and just fell down.
Yeah.
And hit every fucking rock on the way down.
Yeah. What else was on the... Because, like, you know, we know how much you... Do you want to just explain how much you love that Punjabi quiz? One more time?
I will. I will for this audience here. I just don't... I don't know how stupid Randy Orton can be.
If only everyone is live right now.
It's literally dumbfounded to the point where I'm fucking stuttering. That's how dumbfounded I am. He opens up the first cage on the inside of the Punjab prison. First of all, no one could see shit what was going on.
Yeah.
So this is already a disaster as it is. Because the people in attendance said they couldn't fucking see the match at all.
Yeah.
So, on top of that, Randy Orton is setting up for his finishing move, the RKO, the most deadliest move in professional wrestling according to the announcers today.
Yes.
Most devastating move in wrestling today, the RKO. And he takes his sweet ass time and opens up the inside cage to leave. And instead of being, normal and leaving the cage and letting it close on Jinder, the stupid heel for staying inside, he pulls a stupid babyface move and tries to go for the RKO, while the cage door was lifted up and it was open for him to leave. Even if he hit the goddamn RKO, he wouldn't have any time to get out of the ring. He would still have to climb over the top. Because no one can be there taunting for fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No one could see it anyway because they couldn't see inside the goddamn ring. Jinder counters the RKO and leaves the cage.
That's not even what happens.
Structure.
That's not even what happens. Orton hits the RKO, but the Sin Brothers come out and pull Jinder out.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I thought he counted the RKO. He didn't. He got RKO'd and then way too close to the ropes.
Yeah.
And the Singh brothers just pull him out, and the cage closes, and Randy Orton, be the dumb babyface, is just looking around like, what?
It gets worse.
So this it just gets worse from here. It can't get any worse. You think it can't get any worse than this, but it does. Randy Orton climbs up the cage, and for some reason, Jinder Mahal's not trying to leave at all.
Yeah.
Could you pin in this match? I don't even know.
No, you can't.
I fucking forgot the rules. It's such in my infamy that I forgot the rules of the match. He climbs up the top of he climbs up the inside structure, which is small. It's like a regular steel cage almost. And he climbs up and goes to the outside and does a smart thing by reaching over and climbing to the other side, to the other cage, the other structure on the outside. He was at the top.
Yeah.
Now, any normal human being would be like, hey, I don't want to be in this fucking cage anymore. I'm just going to take another couple of steps and leave.
Yep.
Because he was already at the top, so he had to just maybe one more rung and then climb over and then climb down and he wins.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Not even, he could just fall down.
He really could. Stupid babyface Randy Orton decides that, hey, I don't want to win this match anymore. I give up. I'm going to climb down the cage and fight the 3 people who were down on the mat.
Yeah.
On the outside of the first structure.
And it gets worse.
And so he's beating the shit out of him, as Randy Orton does, getting his shit in. And he goes, okay, I'm ready to win this match now. So he climbs up the cage, the outside structure, to leave. He gets halfway up. Out comes the Great Khali. You know how tall, slow, and fat this guy is.
Yeah.
He is slower than slow.
Yeah.
A fucking Turtle moves faster than this guy. And
Turtles move pretty fast, actually, too, if you think about it.
And Randy is hanging on to this cage, and he's sideways now. And the camera shows him in horror and fear of the Great Khali. By the time Randy Orton could have just composed himself, climbed up the Punjab prison, the outside structure of the Punjab prison, climbed up it, climbed down, and won, and Khali wouldn't even been there yet. But he decides that he wants to wait for the Great Khali to get there and then climb out, only to get caught and lose.
Yeah.
Stupid babyface. Stupid babyface. We get any
There was
stupider baby faces than that.
There was other bad stuff on this show, too. Remember that great flag match between John Cena and Rusev? Let's talk about how dumb Rusev was, too. You had to, stick the flag into the platform. When Rusev literally grabbed his platform, all he had to do was just throw it into the crowd, and Cena wouldn't be able to win the match.
He wouldn't. But guess what? He did. He did anyway.
Yeah. And then
American babyface, white meat babyface John Cena wins.
Yeah. And then we had the Kevin Owens AJ Styles match. This is probably AJ Styles' worst match ever in WWE. And it's against
combined.
Yeah. And we don't even know if that finish is a botch now. That's
they tried to go for a move and I forget exactly what move it was. It might have been a suplex or whatnot. But AJ won that match, right?
No, Kevin Owens won that match. It was
they tried to go for a weird type of move or whatever.
Yeah.
And Kevin just ended up pinning him off of it. I don't know what they were trying to do.
Remember that great Nakamura Baron Corbin match? How do you get a bad match out of Shinsuke Nakamura?
Put him with Baron Corbin.
Yeah. I feel like we need to see just how bad it is, a Baron Corbin Jinder Mahal match.
We've already seen it. We don't need to see it again.
When?
Baron Corbin Nakamura or?
No, Baron Corbin versus Jinder Mahal.
Oh God, no. God, please don't.
But that's not my least favorite.
Me to that.
But that's not my least favorite show. My least favorite show, probably of all time, is probably Crown Jewel. Because one, that show shouldn't have even happened. That show shouldn't have even happened to begin with. With all the publicity and stuff that was going on.
That was the second one, right? Not the Greatest Royal Rumble was the first one, right?
Yeah. Shane McMahon won the Best in the World trophy, which I still hate. They're trying to redeem it now, but it was still a pretty dumb decision. So, and then what else was on that show? Remember that great Brothers of Destruction DX match where Triple H hurts himself from the match? Kane's mask comes off in the middle of the freaking match.
He tried to go for something. I don't know what the hell he was trying to do, but
yeah,
he grabbed the strap and pulled it off.
The official death of Braun Strowman's push when he got squashed. You could say, oh, he got hit behind with the belt. No, they killed Braun Strowman on that show, and everyone's gonna say, well, Braun Strowman was hurt going into the match. I don't care. How many matches has Brock Lesnar had since that show? Braun Strowman still could have won that match and won the Universal Championships. So don't even give me any of that. So half the roster didn't even want to go. Daniel Bryan didn't go. Samoa Joe didn't go. No, actually, he did go. Who was it? Oh, John Cena didn't go. Which everyone tried to Cena didn't go. Roman Reigns
wasn't going to go either before he got before his leukemia diagnosis.
Yeah. Which, I'm not going to say it actually because that's mean. I was kind of thinking Roman Reigns probably was upset, but he was probably kind of happy in a way because it got him out of going to Saudi Arabia. So, just the bad, especially too because it was right after the first ever all-women's pay-per-view. And they were trying to make it seem like it was a historic show, and then we're kind of but you're still doing Crown Jewel. So
yeah, exactly.
and they're still in a deal with Saudi Arabia. That's why when WWE tries to do like all this charity stuff, you think about that type of stuff, and it's like, yeah, get out of that deal. That's why I'm never watching any like Raws or SmackDowns that build to that show or 205 Live. So, but I don't think the 205 Live guys are gonna go, and WWE's probably happy with them not going. So, yeah, that's just an awful show, and not just on a wrestling perspective, but on for all types of other reasons. So.
Oh yeah, just right after Jamal Khashoggi got killed too. Also.
Yeah, exactly. And then they couldn't even say like where the pay-per-view was being held. But they said, which is a big plot point. In that show, they say the arena that it's at. That's like something you could easily look up. Like, oh, I wonder where this arena's at, and they're gonna see that it's in Saudi Arabia. So it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. And yeah. I hear they're trying to get women to compete at the next one, but I don't think that's happening. So not
yeah,
that
they're trying to.
Yeah, I don't think Saudi Arabia is going to go for that. So,
women to them are like treated like crap.
Yeah, like Renee Young, I think was only able to go because they were trying to get publicity, bad publicity off of Saudi Arabia. So
yeah,
but them wrestling a match, that's a bit of a stretch. But that's a topic for another day. So now, I get to ask you this question: the best wrestling match you've ever seen in your life. So obviously this is all of us, any wrestling company.
Can it be live or is it just in general?
Just in general.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen any live. Best match I've ever seen.
No, the best. Oh yeah, best. Yeah, best.
Best match I've ever seen. It had. Damn. Okada and Omega.
Well, which one? There's a lot of them.
There's 3 of them. I didn't see I really don't care about the third one, but the second one then went to a draw.
Okay.
That's one of the best matches I've ever seen.
Okay. Now for me, we even say 5 of them too if you want, but it's got to be the first ever Hell in a Cell match. That's just an awesome match. It has a great view going into it. Great characters. The match itself, just on an in-win perspective, is awesome. The storyline's awesome, and everybody benefited from that match. The Undertaker benefited because it allowed him to go into his feud with Kane. Shawn Michaels benefited from it, and it really does a great job of like really setting up the Attitude Era in a way because it allowed Shawn to go into the Montreal Screwjob and everything. So, that's easily like one of my favorite matches of all time. I always watch it when the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view comes up. Kind of makes you sad in a way though too, because like Hell in a Cell matches haven't been like that in a long time, and probably never will be again. So, well, if they do, like, because now what sucks is like when literally in every Hell in a Cell match, someone's got to like fall off the cell now through the table. It's like, okay, it was cool when they did it once, twice,
all the time.
Yeah, they do it all the time now. So, all right, I'm gonna say. Let me see if I can think of 5. Let's see if you can think of like 5 best matches you've ever seen. Obviously, the Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me. Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell.
What culture did best Hell in a Cell matches of all time, and they didn't say we're not going to include this because it's technically not a good match? It's like if you don't include that match on your list, then you shouldn't even be making the list to begin with. So
yeah, exactly. Both the Hell in a Cell matches, the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, Undertaker are 2 of mine.
I could call him this name because that's what he was at the time. Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. That's an awesome match. Sorry, just the NXT title.
NXT, the 5-star match.
Yeah. The Stone Cold Steve Austin Bret Hart submission match. That's an awesome match right there.
The TLC match at WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, we'll just name someone until like we can't think of any. Yeah. Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne when Dunne won the championship.
Yep.
A lot of NXT matches.
For me, Pete Dunne versus Joe Coffey at Blackpool was incredible.
The Shield versus the Wyatt family at Elimination Chamber.
That was awesome too.
Yeah.
Even to its credit, like Shield versus Evolution Extreme Rules 2014 was pretty good too.
Oh yeah. And then what else was like some awesome freaking matches? AJ Styles versus John Cena at SummerSlam 2016.
That was really good. That was really good.
DIY versus the Revival in the 2 out of 3 Falls match at Toronto. I could literally, you could literally like name
all the DIY matches are like outstanding.
Yeah.
Even in singles, like the Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano feud, all those matches were outstanding.
I even like the Jericho Omega match from Wrestle Kingdom 12. No, 13.
That was really good. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I obviously too just to name some Lucha Underground matches: Vampiro versus Pentagon Jr. In the first Ultima Lucha. I'll just name a few of those, like some of the like
a lot of Pentagon matches that I love.
Yeah.
Him versus Phoenix.
The first episode, right?
Yeah, MLW.
Yeah.
That match is really good.
We're gonna watch that soon too. And then I really love Phoenix versus Mil Muertes in the Grave Consequences match and stuff. It's like the casket match that they have where like he gets put into the casket and stuff. Prince Puma versus Johnny Mundo in the Iron Man match.
That was in the first season, right? That was
That
was really good.
If you could just pretty much put any match in like Lucha Underground the first season, and they're just awesome. I even like the first I forget what they call it, Aztec Warfare, when Prince Puma won the champion, became the first ever Lucha Underground champion. And let's think. I'm gonna think of one more, and then we'll move on to another set of. Because Worse is coming up, so
yeah.
Let's think. I'm gonna think of one more. I'm gonna say Royal Rumble 2007. So there you go. You think of one more.
I think we covered like all of them. Honestly, I can't think of any more.
I mean, we could probably literally like name any of them. So, Rock versus Austin 2 at 17. Even though the heel turn happened, it's still an awesome match. So
yeah.
Now let's talk about the worst matches ever. What's the worst match you've ever seen in your life? I think I know what you're gonna say, but
Jenna Maraska.
Okay.
Against Sharmell.
I actually haven't seen that match yet, so
I've seen it. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
It deserves every -5 star that it got.
Yeah. Let me see if I can think of like some like really bad matches. So obviously Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton in the Pujami prison match. The Matt Striker versus Balls Mahoney and like the Matt Striker's Rules Only match.
That was terrible.
Kelly and Mike Knox versus Kevin Thorne and Ariel, I think her name was.
Yeah.
The 2015 Royal Rumble match. Because obviously I know like all the stuff that's happened with Roman and stuff, but I still don't like that match. So, what else was on that? What else can I think of? There's like so many other ones. DX versus Brothers of Destruction.
Terrible. That match is bad.
Yeah. Let me think of. I'm going to think of like obviously a match outside of some of the Top World Promotion woman matches are like really bad because they have like women that don't know how to wrestle or like out of shape and stuff. And yeah, I couldn't like tell you the names of them, but I've seen them and it's pretty damn bad. So Enzo Amore versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship when he won the championship.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like I can't believe we didn't think of this one. Both Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt matches from 2017. The match at Mania and the House of Horrors match.
House of Horrors is terrible.
Yeah. But the
No
worst
threat
match I
less
think
than
I've ever
awful.
seen, and this is the match that like completely killed, I think, TNA, is Sting versus Jeff Hardy for the TNA World Title at Victory Road 2011. I think that destroyed TNA. Like TNA was never the same after that match. So there's a lot of bad matches on that show too. Winter and I believe it's Angelina Love versus Rosita and Saraya, best known as Thea Trinidad and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
You could literally.
Best match ever.
Oh, I gotta say, the best match ever apparently is Killer Kowalski versus Kentucky Butcher. So there you go. Obviously, you could tell that one I was forced to say. So, because you could clearly, I didn't do a good job of hiding the piece of paper. So, but yeah, those are like the worst of the worst matches. We could literally probably name a lot of bad matches out there. But I can't really say, like the Victory Road match because I haven't seen that show yet. So, let's actually name, what match do you think? Let's name overrated matches. So, what would you say is like an overrated match that like everyone hypes way too much?
John Cena versus AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, that one. Obviously, Xavier Woods and Big E versus the Usos at Hell in a Cell.
That's ours.
Not 5 stars. I feel like though that's only one person, but it's still overrated. That match is overrated. The whole feud I think is overrated, but we'll get into that later.
They've had some really great matches though.
But they didn't have like a feud though. It was just like literally the feud was there was nothing they were feuding about. They were just, I mean, obviously you could say they were just fighting for the best tag team, but they didn't really talk about that in their promos. It was just, let's just have matches and, randomly change the titles around. Because that's why I'm happy that rematch clause stip is supposedly gone, because they only kept feuding because of the rematch clause stips. Because there was nothing really like, I feel like too they way overdid that match too, which is obviously another problem. So, what else though is like an overrated match? Those are like the two biggest examples I can think of. What about like an underrated match?
Kevin Owens versus John Cena when Kevin Owens beat him.
Yeah. I actually think I know like a lot of people crap on the match because it's technically not a good match, but I don't really think Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant's all that bad of a match. It's not like, I'm not saying that like a freaking 5-star match or anything like that, but I think
it was probably the best match of its era just because of the story.
Yeah, I like the story, and the white guy obviously went over and stuff too. So, that would definitely be one. Probably another overrated match because it's another match that James gives 5 stars is he literally says that like the Chris Jericho Kenny Omega match is the best match of Jericho's career. I completely disagree with that. I think the best match of Jericho's career is probably the ladder match with Shawn Michaels. And of course, James says, but it didn't get 5 stars. It's like, you realize like Dave Meltzer's like star ratings aren't like, it's his opinion. It's not freaking like it's fact that he gives it a star rating. So, I don't know, just weird. Now let's go best wrestling feuds ever. What are some of your favorite wrestling feuds of all time?
DX feuding with whoever, whether it be against the corporation, whether it be against the Nation of Domination. I think of like favorite feuds. I really liked the Evolution versus the Shield.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Feud. That was really good.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens and John Cena was at the time one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Even AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose when AJ was the heel.
Yeah, that was cool. I didn't really like it because then I would say yeah, but obviously because of the James Ellsworth stuff, it kind of goes down a bit. And it was kind of at the point where like Ambrose really like kind of you could see like he really there was just something off with him in that time. So
Any Shield feud.
even that great Roman Reigns Jinder Mahal feud.
I said Shield.
Okay, Shield. But I think like a really bad Shield feud. Even that great Shield feud when they were feuding with the Dogs of War for like ever.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say some of mine. Obviously Hogan Andre. That's an awesome feud. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock.
Yep. 100%. That's probably one of my all-time. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah. Undertaker and Kane. I know some of the people say the matches aren't the best, but their feud from like when Kane
for a long time
first came into like WrestleMania. Yeah. And then obviously like when they rekindled it in 2004 was awesome too. I can see what people say about 2010, but Undertaker Edge, I really like that feud a lot. And Undertaker Batista, I feel like I'm just gonna say any Undertaker feud, but he's had some bad ones. So we'll get into that. Undertaker Brock Lesnar, more so not really going into WrestleMania 30, but when he like came back and like was mad about his streak and stuff like that. I gotta think about the Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. And what else? This is real DIY revival.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, Edge, no matter when they were feuding, Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudley Boys and stuff like that. I think that's about it. I could probably, like I said, we're doing this on the fly. If we had more time to think about it, we would say more.
Yeah.
But, let's do some bad feuds now, because obviously that has to come. What are the worst feuds? How could we
Jinder Mahal?
We completely forgot one, like the Daniel Bryan like big storyline they did too. So.
Against the Authority, yeah.
Yeah.
Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
Any Jinder Mahal feud.
Remember the Jinder Mahal Shinsuke Nakamura feud when like Jinder Mahal was like
fun of him being Asian, yeah.
Yeah. I got one. How about Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt? That was.
Yep, that was awful.
Yeah. Randy Orton had a lot of. Randy Orton, John Cena, because
my God, the never-ending feud.
Yeah. Randy Orton had a lot of bad feuds.
Jinder Mahal, John Cena, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, John Cena.
That feud never ended. I don't even think they've ended that feud yet.
John Cena, remember the great John Cena Kane Rise Above Hate storyline?
That was the best ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What else was like some really bad feuds? Triple H. Actually, I can't really say that feud was bad, but
I mean I think it was because Randy Orton's this hot new young babyface.
Yeah.
On fire for he just won the world title from Triple H.
Yeah.
From Chris Benoit at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
He's the heavyweight champion. They're pushing him as the top babyface.
Yeah.
And then he gets fucking pantsed the rest of the feud.
Then remember that great Al Wilson storyline with Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie?
Don't even remind me of that.
How could we Katie Vick, Triple H, and Kane?
Better. even better. When Triple H had sex with a fucking mannequin. Right?
Yeah. That's gonna put asses in the seats.
What
about
people were sick back then.
Paige and Charlotte, where they brought up, Reed Flair's death.
To absolutely no reaction whatsoever.
Yeah.
When they said it in the live in attendance, no one even cared.
How about Sasha Banks? That could go both in the best and worst feud category. The best for the NXT one, but then remember that they were supposed to feud and then they never happened, and then
she turned on an Elimination Chamber. Bayley got her revenge, and then they were told to go to counseling.
Yeah.
What? And they almost said a lesbian angle too, also.
Yeah.
Where she said she loved Bayley.
Yeah.
She loved it.
I gotta think of another really bad feud. I can't. How about overrated feuds? I'm saying it now. I'm probably Usos versus New Day. I think that's overrated.
Overrated feuds. Yeah, that's probably one of them too. John Cena Edge. That's pretty overrated.
Yeah, probably.
Because
it was the same thing with Randy Orton, John Cena.
Yeah, Randy Orton, John Cena, same thing, overrated.
Yeah, never ended though. So
yeah, I don't even know. I can't even think of any really.
Yeah. Maybe right now this like triple threat stuff with Ronda Rousey and because once Ronda
Rousey, Ruby Riott.
that wasn't even a feud though.
The Riot Squad against anybody.
How could we forget about this one? Ruby Riott and Natalya in a feud.
Ooh, the best of the best.
Obviously, too, we didn't. Where do we put the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins feud? Because I can't really say it's the best one now because of the most recent stuff that happened and stuff. So does that go into overrated as well?
Yeah.
How about underrated feuds?
I think we kind of covered a lot of them.
I feel like no one really talks about how great the Batista Undertaker feud was and stuff too.
Jericho.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker. That whole story arc they did with Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and then the building up to that end of an era match too.
Yeah,
it's kind of ruined obviously by the Crown Jewel and Super Showdown stuff, but I still think it's awesome. John Cena, The Rock. We didn't talk about that. But Undertaker, we got to talk about some of Undertaker's because he's had some bad ones. Yeah. Undertaker, Giant Gonzalez.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Undertaker versus like the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, where at first it was Undertaker versus Undertaker, then it was like where they like stole the urn and melted it down into like a necklace, and yeah. The Higher Power. I know it's not like a feud, but it's more of a storyline. But that was pretty bad. A lot of people hate that Undertaker was like crucifying people and stuff. I feel like no one would hate that as much had the Higher Power thing been different. So, my opinion, anyways. One bad match we forgot to say too is Big Boss Man versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 15, and Big Boss Man versus Al Snow and the Kennel from Hell match. We forgot to say those.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Yeah. What else was some really bad feuds? We're naming a lot of like, I want to see if I can think of like a Lucha Underground one because it's not over yet for me, but Tejano Jr. versus like Chavo Guerrero when like, Mexico was like coming after Chavo Guerrero. I don't hate that feud or anything, but it just seems weird. An overrated feud in my opinion is the Cody Kenny feud that was going on with in like ROH and New Japan, because I feel like they didn't have like you didn't really ever feel like they really hated each other because they were doing like Smokey B and the Elite videos together, and it's when Gargano and Ciampa were like doing videos together, it was freaking Gargano wanted to beat the crap out of him, not freaking them joking around with each other and stuff. Like if you saw them in public, you would have actually believed Gargano and Ciampa hated each other. I don't think you ever would have really believed that with Cody and Kenny Omega and stuff like that. I really can't call to another really good feud is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate with their matches and stuff, because sometimes wrestlers don't have a feud because they hate each other. You just feel like they wanted to be the best and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Then we got to talk about what's the most memorable show you've ever been to, like attended.
Besides that 4th of July episode, I'll probably say the one that we went to together.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one. That was I feel like that's memorable because that was the same night as the Superstar Shakeup, so we didn't really know we didn't really know who was going to show up. I remember how loudly we popped when Kevin Owens showed up and Sami Zayn showed up. Who else popped?
Cute.
Huh?
AJ too.
Yeah, we popped for 8. No, but I'm saying like we didn't expect Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn
Yeah,
to be there though.
or
So
Charlotte either,
yeah,
because
so
it was on Raw.
we got to see Nakamura wrestle Dolph Ziggler in the greatest 205 live match of all time.
Oh, we also got to see 205 Live, and it's really in its infancy almost.
Yeah.
That
I
was
remember
awful.
I remember too.
Awful.
What else? Yeah, we saw Mojo. That was the show right before. I remember you chanted "Test Jinder," and Vince tested Jinder well, and he tested him all the way to the main event because he literally the next week Jinder Mahal like won that #1 contenders match right
Yeah.
after too.
That's actually funny about that. No, what's actually funny about that show too? The guy that we were screaming at, that jobber that we didn't know his name, he's actually a performance center recruit now.
Oh really?
Yeah, Shane Matthews. He's a part of a tag team. They came in together. It was when they went to Montreal.
Yeah.
He was one of the French guys that was there.
No,
Tag team
obviously.
was a 3.0. They're a really good tag team on the indie scene for a very long time.
What do you think I'm gonna say is my most memorable show? Because it's probably not the show
that you went to.
Nope. Because it probably would have been had it been before October. Obviously, the most memorable show for me is when Roman Reigns came out and announced his leukemia. Not the best show I've ever been to, but because that having an account, being there live, it was just very surreal. Like the crowd was quiet up until DX came out. They didn't really pop that big when DX came out and stuff either. They did pop, but
yeah.
It was definitely like a surprise.
I don't think I've ever asked you this, but like, were people like crying in attendance?
I didn't really look at people's faces because I was watching the show. I think people in my area were just more like in shock.
Yeah.
They didn't really know how to react to it. It was very weird because that's like the most like instantly not that someone's like a crowd's like changed because when Roman Reigns came out, he was booed out of the building as typically before this happened. And people, I think once people, once he said my name is Joe, everyone like stopped booing and stuff like that because they knew like something serious was going down.
I knew something was up once he came out in street clothes.
Yeah.
Once you
come
out
even
in
then
street
we
clothes,
didn't.
It's never good.
But even then we didn't even think about that though. We were still booing, and it was just a really weird night. It was the same night Dean Ambrose turned heel too, and we didn't expect that, and everyone booed the crap out of that. Elias turned babyface, like it was. I think like it's most memorable because like a lot of significant stuff happened. Elias turned babyface. I got to see Ronda Rousey for the first time. It was just a very surreal night. Even like that Paul Heyman promo he cuts, right before that, it was just insane.
Yeah.
Like you have to kind of be there to really know how memorable it is in a way. Like DX, like we completely forgot that DX didn't even happen. That just kind of shows you how irrelevant Shawn Michaels' final like build up to his match was. We come out because we wanted them to come out, but they did that pre-taped video. So it was that was definitely a surreal night. So yeah. Now we got to do. What about the worst show? What's the worst show we've ever been to? Because obviously there's obviously the best, but what about the worst?
I'd probably say for me is that both my first ever one going.
Okay.
That's just not it's not a good show.
I gotta think of like a really
I've been to so few that's like I've only been to probably 4, so I don't really go all that much. Or at all actually.
I gotta really think here because there's I've been to so many I can't really think of like a worst one. I gotta think. I think there was a Raw I went to, like doing the build up of no, I'm trying to think. It's really hard, so because I liked Let me think. I don't. I think I went to like some type of Top Rope promotion show, and I think I remember not liking that one because like half the matches that were on the show I'd seen like 1,000 times, so I didn't really pop or anything about it. So I'll just say that one. Just and for you because it's a Top Rope show, so obviously I'm not. So I'll just say that just to be easy. Um, let's think. Now, obviously, we're gonna ask the big question: what do you say to fans that say they're not gonna watch wrestling because it's fake?
Punch him in the face.
Because it's like that literally like makes no sense. Because like, why do we get flagged for like watching professional wrestling, but like these same fans that like rant about it will watch shows like they like typically if you're gonna say don't watch wrestling because it's fake, they should just never watch a TV show or movie ever again because
They're
those
all
are fake too. I mean, the news half the time is fake.
Yeah.
So it's like don't if you're gonna tell me wrestling's fake, don't watch any show ever. Don't watch any movies. Well, I know that those people are gonna say, what about documentaries and stuff? And when they make movies that are based off documentaries, they're not always exactly. That's not exactly obviously what happened. They don't know word for word what they said. They bullshit a little bit. So, don't watch any of that stuff. So, because and it pisses me off hearing people say that because typically like a lot of people like freaking one of them that says it all the time. He's a freaking meathead. I'll tell you off camera if you don't know, but
okay, tell me off camera.
Yeah, he's a frick. He says, "Why do you?" Actually, I'll mimic him, and you'll know what I'm talking about, bro. Why do you watch that fake WWE shit? That's just fake, bro. You should be.
Is his name begin with an R? And his
Yeah.
last name begin with an M?
Yes, it does. Yeah. And then you have other people that he's just a weird kid, anyways. Though, so yeah. But yeah, so that would be one. Obviously too we have the constant things like why do we continue to watch if but a lot of people someone made this if we still rant about the product. Well, obviously we don't always rant about the product. I think people think that because we have people on the show that do nothing but do that, but I'm typically pretty in the middle. There's a reason I haven't watched TNA for as long as I have. So I hear it's better now, but I'm not wasting my time on Impact Wrestling. So I guess I could ask you this question: what's the best promotion you think ever?
WWE.
Okay. What about the worst promotion ever? Don't say AEW because it hasn't happened yet.
TNA.
Probably. Because TNA never had a chance. Some of that 2010, and I could ask you this question too, because a lot of people that only watch the Attitude Era think that having an edgier product is when they hear it's PG, they're like, oh, it sucks now. Then that's not the case at all. If WWE changed an edgier product tomorrow, that's not necessarily set in stone that they're going to be better because they still have to I feel like the booking's going to be the same. It could be worse because remember too. We talked about worse feuds. I'm kind of glad it's PG in a way because we don't have to see feuds like Kurt Angle and Booker T from 2005 and Triple H and Kane from 2002.
Oh God.
Yeah, you want to see those type of just think about that, guys. You just open up the door for those types of feuds again. So, I mean, even and then I get kind of pissed because then when they do go edgy, people complain about it. So.
Yeah.
Those same people that wanted to be edgier, will complain that someone bladed too much or something, or I bet Triple H could just drop the N word. It's edgier. Daniel Bryan could come out naked one day and people will complain about it. Well, which you should complain about.
Daniel Bryan.
Which you should complain about it, but I'm just saying, you want edgier content, that's edgier content right there. So, there was something edgier. I'm trying to think of like an example where that happened, where someone, you know, where they want edgier content and then they complained about it. There was some type of situation where that happened, but I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. So, let me see if I can. And then obviously, we always everything wrestling related. What are you looking forward to most right now when it comes to professional wrestling?
WrestleMania.
Obviously. And then I can ask you this question. What's like the most you think you ever watched, professional wrestling, like the most year? And then you could say, the year you think you watched the least amount of wrestling. Since you got into it, you can't say like, 97, because obviously that's an obvious answer.
The year I watched it the most would have to be nowadays.
Definitely.
Nowadays, definitely more, because in the beginning, I can only watch it for a certain period of time. Like I can only watch Raw, like from 9 to 9:30, because that's
yeah.
I was like in third grade in 2003, and I couldn't watch. My parents wouldn't let me watch. I had to bargain for 9:30.
Yeah.
Because I went to bed at 8:30, so I'm like I had to get 60 minutes of sleep, and once that 60 minutes of sleep went up, it was 9:30.
Yeah.
And they were like, that TV goes up at 9:30. I don't want that TV going back on. So
did you ever
watch the first half hour?
Did you ever sneak it?
No, I didn't, because Paul was in here.
Oh. So for me, I gotta say, the most, it might be nowadays, because I'm watching WWE every week. I'm watching, Raw, SmackDown, 205, NXT, NXT UK. Haven't watched Main Event in a few weeks, so you're happy about that. So
that's the best. Don't watch it ever.
Yeah. I'm obviously watching all the retro stuff too, and I'm watching Lucha Underground right now. I'm watching, MLW. So I might be watching.
That's probably my new favorite promotion right now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've only been able to watch 2 episodes, so. But also, we're not just watching, the current stuff. We're doing the retro more so now too, and
than ever, really.
Yeah. So I feel like the more YouTube content I do, the more I'm watching, because YouTube keeps me watching, because I'm constantly thinking about new stuff. I feel like I didn't talk about that enough. I feel like YouTube keeps me. I mean, I'm not saying YouTube's the reason I'm watching wrestling, but it definitely helped, because I feel like if it wasn't for wrestling, I would have started, YouTubing and stuff. I know I do other videos now and stuff, but wrestling was like the first main thing I did for YouTube things wise. Like if you go through the history of my channel, there's more wrestling videos that I make than anything else. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But probably the least. I won't get into detail about it. Let's just see. I'll just say the year and see if you can remember it. But it was 2016, and let's just say there was I wasn't doing a whole lot of anything in 2016, because I was a part of that group. So yeah, you probably, once I said that, you obviously know why.
That group.
Yeah.
Oh man, that group was deadly.
Yeah.
It was not even group that cult.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think I didn't watch any really wrestling from May to I started watching again obviously in August. I tried to watch all the shows, not all of them, but I was trying to watch all the shows to get it caught up for SummerSlam, and then obviously I also went away to North Carolina when I started watching again too. So yeah.
You made an attempt to.
Yeah. Then obviously, I think the mistake I made was trying to watch all the shows again, because I wasn't. I feel like I would have. Obviously, if I had tried to catch back up, I would have just been, not watching it anyway, so it would have been tough. So, I pretty much had to get away from that group pretty much getting away from that group got me watching full time again. So, and then, but we're gonna move on from that. We forgot to say one thing. least favorite wrestlers of all time because we were so busy, doing all this stuff.
Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal.
Can you name 5? Because we did 5 for the best. So
Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, Mantar, Fantasio.
Isn't he making a comeback?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, and the Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh wow. For me, I agree with you on the Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal thing. Randy Orton was on the list, but because of his recent run and stuff, and finding out his backstage stuff, he's like number 1 now. So.
Oh yeah, Randy Orton.
He's an interesting. Yeah. That might be like one of the best news stories I've ever read in my life. What else? Actually, it'll be one. So yeah, Randy. No, I'm sorry. At least Kevin Nash. I know a lot of people say like if it wasn't for Kevin Nash, a lot of the things wouldn't happen. I really don't think like Kevin Nash really influenced the business at all. You could say NWO, but I feel like you could have put anybody else in, like any like big guy at the time in his role, and it would have worked.
Could have, but I can see where they're coming from.
Like I don't, and also too, I just don't really like how he's only in the business for the money. He didn't, obviously he killed. He's one of the reasons WCW died. One of the reasons TNA died. Well, not TNA's not dead, but it's basically like in my opinion, it's like dead because it's not like a big company really anymore. Like it's not. I think ROH is bigger than that at this point.
Probably New Japan,
AEW, and it's not even a thing yet, really. So, yeah. So Kevin Nash, Eva Marie, and I gotta think of a 5th one now, don't I? Chris Benoit. I know just because I can't watch a Chris Benoit match because of what so, even when we make the jokes, like I can't watch him do his headbutt again, especially the ladder match again. I really like the ladder match with Chris Jericho at Royal Rumble 2001. But speaking of which, back to those overrated matches, I think an overrated match is the 2001 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Because what about overrated shows?
Like in terms of like pay-per-views too, or is it just like in regular main roster shows?
We'll just do both.
Definitely Royal Rumble 01.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I gotta think of one.
I think we agree on. I think we agree on Rumble 01 though.
I really can't say like a New Japan show because I've only seen one of them, so I'll just say let me think. You could technically say like probably yeah, I can't really think of like ones off the top of my head because you have to like talk to wrestling fans most of the time too. So probably Fastlane. I hear a lot of people like say Fastlane's a good show, but to me it's just an average show. Like recently that just happened.
Yeah.
So, I think the Royal Rumble this year too is a bit overrated. I'm saying that now because I'm waiting until WrestleMania happens because I'm not giving it a high grade because I gave last year's a high grade. And look where the 2 Royal Rumble match winners. One of them is going to have a nothing match at WrestleMania, and the other one's going to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal possibly. So
yeah.
And then probably I'll just say those shows. What about underrated shows?
Good question. I can't, like, honestly, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I feel like no one really, maybe because like I got into Lucha Underground so late, no one praises like the first, season of Lucha Underground as much. Especially Ultima Lucha, that show is just awesome. But like I said, I got into it so late that if I talk to people about it now, they wouldn't remember it as well. So, back to underrated matches. There's a lot of like underrated matches too that's on season 1 of Lucha Underground. Like when Phoenix wins that like Gift of the Gods championship, that's a hell of a match right there. Even though I'll do let's well, this is a side note, but I'll do a small rant. That gift of the gods title is kind of really useless because you can like cash that in anytime you want, but you have like a week. So I've been watching like the first like seasons and stuff, and like Phoenix would like try to cash it in, and Katrina would be like, "Yeah, you have to have a match tonight first and defend it." Then he fucking will lose his championship. And then freaking the same thing happened at King Kwano. So basically, you can say, you have a week to the match, but if you fucking lose the belt, then you can't cash it in. So it's kind of like, because I think they don't want to be like WWE in a way and stuff, but really really weird. Let's talk about this. What's one moment that changed wrestling forever? Like if this moment didn't exist, wrestling would be completely different.
Wait, what?
Did you not hear me?
Not in here. I'm on my right now.
I asked, what's one moment, in your opinion, that if it didn't happen, like that changed wrestling forever? Like without this moment, wrestling would be completely different.
When Kane got unmasked.
Why? Because
I feel like that didn't need to happen. I mean, it didn't really change anything, but like,
yeah.
Would he have been? I mean, it could have changed a few things.
Yeah.
But like, what if Undertaker had never gone to be? What if he never came back as Biker Taker?
The world would be in a better place.
Be the worst because Biker Taker's the best.
Speaking of that, I'll just say a few. Obviously, if WrestleMania 1 bombed, there'd probably be no wrestling today. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. If WrestleMania 1 was a fucking shit show and completely no one cared about it.
Yeah.
Wrestling
I would say
would be totally different.
Hulk Hogan going to WCW, because that, without that moment, the Monday Night Wars would have the Monday Night Wars, the Monday Night Wars wouldn't have been the same. The Montreal Screwjob, because that got WWF started the momentum of them getting the ratings again.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve. I'm just gonna name ones until I can't think of any. Obviously, think about how different wrestling would be if Mark Calloway was was the one in the egg, and he came out as the gobbledygooker.
Oh my God, there'd be no Undertaker.
Yeah. Obviously, too, I already said the Montreal Screwjob. The Austin era beginning. Let's think.
Sure.
Huh?
For sure.
And I'm just going to use an example, a nowadays example. What would have happened if Mustafa Ali didn't get hurt? Because WrestleMania right now would be a lot. And Becky Lynch, imagine she didn't get over it as much as she did. So I want to think of like a good moment. Can you imagine what WWE would be like if they did the invasion angle? Like, as I sometimes think about that, because that's like around the time a lot of people quit watching wrestling. So what if the WWF actually did the invasion angle the way they should have done it? Would people still be watching? And I also think Summer Punk, what if they did that angle right too? A lot of people would still be watching wrestling today.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, and this one too. What if they didn't make Cody Rhodes Stardust? There'd be no AEW today. So, but you'd love that. So.
Oh yeah.
And what if? Here's another good one. What if Vince McMahon didn't let Chris Jericho go to New Japan? Which I think Jericho would have gone anyways. So.
Oh yeah.
What if the WWE had turned Roman Reigns heel when they should have? Obviously.
Never know.
Huh?
You just never know.
What if the Nexus actually was booked strong? What would the state of wrestling be like today? You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. I want to think of like a TNA. What if TNA never did this? Let Jeff Hardy go out there high. What would TNA be like today?
It might be the best. They might be, yeah, at the tippity top.
What if I feel like I'm just gonna answer this one. A lot of people question like what would have happened if WCW won the Monday Night Wars. I personally just don't think wrestling would be all that different. I just think everything we're saying about WWE today, we'd be saying about WCW. So,
Oh yeah,
it'd just be because there's no competition, and it might that might be a good thing that WCW, you know, lost because we'd have WCW I think only cared about taking WWE down. I think once that happened, there'd be no wrestling today. So
oh yeah,
I think
for sure.
I think the right company won overall.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
What if WWE like revamped ECW correctly?
They could have had a nice third brand.
Yeah, and obviously too. What if the Hulkamania never ran wild? There's a lot of questions.
The fucking wrestling business would probably not exist.
Yeah. So what if Vince never ended the territory days? That's a good question.
Yeah.
See, I'm asking all these great questions and not getting any answers. Oh, here's another good question. What if the Chris Benoit tragedy never happened?
Oh, I don't even know. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. A lot of people think he'd still. I don't think he'd be wrestling today though if he was still alive. I think because he'd probably be a trainer at the Performance Center. I think. Because how old was he when he died?
30s. Yeah, he might have been 40.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know. They probably could have trotted him out there though for a Saudi Arabia show out of nowhere. So
yeah, he was 40.
Yeah. So he wouldn't be wrestling today. Here's something that's different. What if John Cena never buried Bray Wyatt? By the way, another bad match we didn't mention was the cage match between Bray Wyatt and John Cena at Extreme Rules. Remember that match?
Oh, shit.
We talked about that match all the time on our show. So, obviously, what about wrestling? What are wrestling podcasts and stuff that you watch? And wrestling news site to keep up with, because that's a pretty big topic.
I don't know, really.
You just watch.
Yeah, I think we've covered literally every topic.
Yeah, we probably could go longer, but a little over an hour and a half. I think we're at a good stopping point. So this was definitely a fun March Madness episode. I keep thinking we're doing the wrestling rundown, but we're actually doing the March Madness. So,
yeah,
I'm glad we switched to here instead of Skype because Skype was just not.
Skype was just
Yeah. So this episode gets a thumbs up. Skype gets a middle finger. So, tomorrow, because I feel like we're not gonna do a second one today because I don't really feel like it now. So,
I don't either.
Tomorrow, there is going to be a day when we do two. I think tomorrow's going to be that day because Colors I don't think will take us this long. So I literally think Colors will take us like a half hour. So I can't wait to talk about Colors.
Yeah, so much fun.
I can't wait. I wonder what we're going to... Hey, wrestling could come... Colors and wrestling can go together because... the
wrestling colors.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about... Yeah, guys, believe it or not, tomorrow you come here. We're gonna talk about Colors. So yeah, Chris, do you have anything you want to plug or promote?
Retro Wrestling Review Series tomorrow, also too. We'll both be on it along with a couple others.
Yep.
And this weekend, Saturday. Well, it's being taped tomorrow, depending on when you see it. Saturdays also too. Wrestling Rundowns being taped. Tune in whenever you can, please.
And hopefully, this weekend we'll film Retro Wrestling Review Series, Chris's pick. Which we're not gonna tell you Chris's pick until you watch tomorrow's show.
It's a show.
Yeah, it's a wrestling show. Imagine you didn't do a wrestling show. You picked like a movie.
Blues.
Hey, we still got to do those reviews. We forgot about them. So,
okay.
You thought I forgot, but obviously too for
you
my stuff. Did. For my stuff, I almost forgot about this series. So, you could check out Owen the Talkinator. I plan on doing some Walking Dead reviews tonight, but sometimes that just depends on my mood. I'll just think about it, then I'm like, nah, I'm gonna watch WrestleMania 23 or Breaking Bad because I'm too obsessed with that stuff. So Walking Dead just depends on my moods. So, and then obviously movie Monday reviews. I'll probably have one up Monday. I'm gonna review Us. That's literally the name of the movie. You could say it sounds like a stupid movie, but when you see the trailer, you would understand what I'm talking about. So, this channel, you could check out my cousin tried to predict wrestling and fail miserably because he never watches the show. So he he's got to at some point jump in his cold pool, which he lives in Florida. We didn't really think that one through. So, and to drink hot sauce. So that's good. Hopefully he'll get around to doing that. He keeps forgetting, and I keep forgetting to remind him. So it depends on when we. Can't speak today, so that's good. Wrestling Fortune 44, though. Yeah, Chris promoted all this stuff, but I'm probably on a side note. We plan on starting the MLW reviews maybe Friday. It depends on what we're doing because I'm gonna be coming home early Friday, so Chris won't see me in person Friday. So
yeah.
Chris was gonna cry now because he's gonna be stuck at school by himself now. So
I could just leave after my class.
Nope, not allowed.
Where are you going? What are you doing Friday?
Well, I don't have media, so I can just go home. That's if you know, my grandfather doesn't leave the headlights on the car again. So, then what else? Lucha Underground reviews, because that might happen too. I might say, oh, I might do Walking Dead. Then I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do Lucha Underground. And check out, not like they need my promotion, NoDQ.com, which is just called Aaron Rift on YouTube, where me and Noah will be doing 205 Live Matters, because they're not going on the kickoff. It's not happening. So, Chris, don't even say they belong on the kickoff, because you think
every fucking match belongs on the kickoff.
How long should each match go?
1 minute.
Can you imagine Triple H and Batista's 1 minute? It's gonna take them like 3 hours to get to the win. So
a piece.
Yeah. Hey, there's gonna be 17 matches at WrestleMania this year. We're gonna have an 8-hour show. We're basically going to work that day. So
it's a work week for us.
Yeah. What do you think the longest wrestling show is ever?
I don't know.
Probably at WrestleMania. What about the shortest?
Last year's WrestleMania or the year before?
What about the shortest wrestling show ever?
I don't know.
Probably Halftime Heat. Maybe.
Yeah, because there's only one match.
No, remember it had other matches on. It had Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart. Remember that?
The actual Halftime Heat that we saw.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we're done here. No more.
Okay.
We're done. Chris is pissing Chris off. I forgot to ask favorite tag teams, but I don't think.
Okay, no, we're done.
Yep. So, Chris, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.